Oh, so that's your page. Oh, that's cute. Can you stop for real?
I miss my Chicago, but it kisses on your smile when you listen. Ain't no competition, just Competing for attention when you lie. Out with, like it out with, go and tell it now, like shake it out with. Take the time to come up at me. I know I don't make a girl go crazy. When you treat her like you're number one. Holy moly donut shop. Holy moly donut shop. Holy moly. Holy. Thank you. Feeling blessed.
And I'm proud to introduce the students in the I'm a Star Foundation. These teen influencers create solutions to problems affecting their peers. They've raised more than $126,000 and donated college scholarships to homeless students. They bring out thousands of children each year to Let's Move Jacksonville, their festival to end childhood obesity. And now you can join them in a movement to empower their peers in the face of COVID-19. Welcome to 2020 Strong, a national virtual celebration of high school graduates, an event for students by students. It's my pleasure to introduce you to the smart, talented, and resilient students in I'm a Star Foundation.
The senior class of 2020 has had a year like no other senior class in the recent history. In March of 2020, their world was turned upside down, faced with a pandemic that we know as COVID-19. America was forced to shut down the country, quarantine, and shelter in place to help flatten the curve. To add on to that, virtually every ritual that we have looked forward to since kindergarten was completely wiped away or out of our grasp.
No prom, no graduation activities, no graduation, and no senior closure. Wow, that's heavy. They will never get those things back. I am sure that is caused a lot of them to shut down. I'm sure that the results in all of them feeling confused, angry, and wondering, what do I do next?
I'm only in 6th grade, but I'm old enough to know that when your world gets turned upside down, it is very easy to give up hope. As student leaders in the I'm a Star Foundation, we know that the essence of leadership is service to mankind, and that is our desire tonight, to provide to the service of Class 2020.
Miles, you are so right. On Thursday night, we had a virtual prom. Last night, we had a 2020 house party. But tonight, we are here to allow the class of 2020 a platform to ask questions and share their concerns about their future.
We are fortunate to have a panel of professionals and experts who can offer wisdom and share their knowledge. But even more important, we will also give one lucky senior a $1,500 scholarship at the end of this session.
Joining us tonight is Dr. Mark P. Becker, president of Georgia State University. In 2019, U.S. News and World Report rated Georgia State University as the #1 public university in the country for commitment to teaching.
Today we are joined by Mr. Charles Griggs, the Southern District Representative of the 100 Black Men of America, which has the legacy of education and empowerment for youth. Ms. Gretchen Ham, a mental health counselor with Operation New Hope, an agency recognized nationally for giving individuals a second chance. Is also a distinguished member of our panel, the Honorable Sam Newby, Vice President of our Jacksonville City Council, and ardent supporter of our foundation, is graciously joining us tonight. To round the panel, please welcome Mr. Raymond Pierce, the President and CEO of the Southern Education Foundation, which has been a leader in education for over 150 years.
Before we get started, let's give a shout out to our awesome and amazing class of 2020. Our first question tonight is a question for Dr. Becker and Dr. Pierce. How can the class of 2020 feel safe going on to college campuses in the fall? And what will college even look like in the fall? Dr. Pierce?
Well, that's a very good question. And I don't know what it's going to look like in the fall. I don't think anyone knows because, as you also artfully put it, this is very new. You all are pioneers. Everything that you all have experienced is no one in my generation and generation before has experienced what you've all experienced. And it's just so impressive how well you are handling it. But I can tell you this, because of the work I do as with the Southern Education Foundation, I am in touch with quite a number of college presidents and universities around the nation. You have one on this panel also. There's a great deal of work going on right now in planning for your class, this incoming class here in 2020, incorporating quite a number of the guidelines and safety measures that the scientists and people in the medical profession have come to think about. And so I think you're going to be okay. I'm pretty confident. My daughter actually is going off to graduate school. She graduated from college and she's got a scholarship to go get a master's degree. And so she's not slowing down. She's going. So I think you're going to be okay. It's nothing you haven't been used to now, wearing masks, sanitizing and yourself. So you guys are pioneers. I think you're gonna handle it quite well.
Miss Ham and Mr. Griggs, I'm going to play a clip from Jordan Brown and Cheyenne Taylor, members of class of 2020. What do you say to them?
It was definitely surprising to be out on spring break and realize that we wouldn't be back. As a senior, it was definitely sad to realize that I wouldn't get to see a lot of my friends or people that I've spent 4 years with learning alongside in the classroom. As seniors, there's traditionally a lot of events that we would have the opportunity to see, but we didn't get that opportunity this year. And I know that wasn't a voluntary thing, but I realized that because we didn't participate in those activities, we helped to stop the spread of COVID-19, not only in our community, but around the globe.
To give up my graduation activities. It did hurt at first, but I got over it. It was hard and it was really sad because I didn't spend my senior year with my friends. But it also taught me a lesson. What I learned from this pandemic was that family is important and that at the end of the day, that's all you're gonna have when it comes to anything really is your family.
Councilman Newby, many students feel that they can't get the coronavirus and are not taking it seriously. What is your response?
Well, my response is, they actually can get it. And actually today I was reading something where for the first case of society, 18 under actually died of coronavirus. It's easy to get, you just never know. And myself, about 3 months ago, I was infected with coronavirus and I never knew where I got it from. And I tell you, it was quite an experience. Twice I thought that I wasn't gonna make it, I was gonna die. So I urge all the students to be careful, wear your mask, because the coronavirus don't know anyone. And anybody can get it, just like how I got it, didn't know who I got it from. I could have just been standing by somebody. So please, please, I want everyone to be careful.
Before we go to the next person, Mr. Griggs and Ms. Ham, they didn't give you an opportunity yet to answer to the videos that you saw with Jordan and with Cheyenne, where they were talking about what they experienced and how they felt. Can you just, Mr. Griggs and Ms. Ham, can you speak to that before Demaya asks her question?
Sure. I would love to.
Go ahead, Ms. Ham.
That's okay. That's okay. What I would love to speak to about it was that part of my role, I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I cover the clinical services for Operation New Hope. And I actually had just started right when all of this went down. And so it was a great big adjustment for me starting a new job and then starting it with all the regulations and restrictions with COVID-19. And one of the things that they had me do was start sending emails during the week, looking at the mental health side of this. And it was very helpful, not only for me, but for the staff to address that part of it. And it was a great transition process for all of us to talk about how scary it was at the beginning and the unknown to making a plan and coming out the other side. And in watching those videos, the main thing I thought of was the fact that it's okay to grieve what we lost. You know, we did make a lot of sacrifices that were important, and it, you know, Cheyenne mentioned it brought us together with our families and things like that, but it's okay to grieve the other side of it. We did miss out on things. And then I also thought of the fact that one of the spotlights I did was resiliency, which is part of this whole program, is being resilient. And this whole time has been such a challenge, and has had us rely on that and strengthen our own resiliency. And I think that's what we could take from it. But I think it's okay to process those emotions and what losses we might have been through, because we will never forget this time, and it's going to shape who we are as people. And I think that's going to be really good as far as in the long run.
Yeah, and just to add on Ms. Ham's remarks there, you know, this is an opportunity for students, and I know that it's very difficult, but you're going to forever be known as the class of COVID-19. And how you deal with that, you can choose to make that a positive thing or a negative thing. And, you know, much like back in the class of 2001, when they were students who were graduating, I'm sorry, class of 2002, students were graduating after 9/11. This will be a mark for you to have an opportunity to put a stake in the ground and say, this is how I responded to this event. Many of you will go on to use this event or this COVID-19 as a way to spring forward, and many of you will also be have to deal with this, the repercussions, the mental drain, the mental aspects of it for a time, and it's okay. What I've noticed is a lot of students are supporting each other. And I know that a lot of students are asking their parents and adults for help as well. And I think that going forward, especially in the college environment where everyone's had to adjust, there will be help and support there for those students who are going on to college, and for those people who are trying to adjust in the community as well, because we're all dealing with this. This is not just for graduating seniors out of high school or college. People have been in their jobs and workplace. Everyone's adjusting to this. So it's unfortunate that at a young age, you've had to deal with this and put this burden on you. But what we hope is that you'll be stronger for it. Hope that'll be one of the positive things, that you're stronger for it coming out on the other side. So my recommendation and my hope is that you stay strong through this process and use this moment to help build your strength and endurance and your resiliency, as Ms. Ham mentioned, for your exciting future that's ahead of you.
We have another video from Shakana Sanders, Dr. Pierce and Mr. Griggs. Shakana had talked about how she has used the time in quarantine to learn new skills. Can you relate to that? What are some new skills or new lessons that you acquired during the pandemic? We will start with Dr. Pierce.
Let me see if I understand that question. Some of the new skills learned during the pandemic and how you're going to apply them going forward. If that's the question, I got to go back to something Mr. Griggs said, and I'll put it in this context. You guys are. I'm not trying to make you feel big, but you guys are famous. The class of 2020. I mean, I can't think of a generation other than maybe the baby boomers that had a brand and it came through some big things. But the class of 2020. I'm 61 years old. I don't know a class. There's never been anything like this. And so you guys are famous. And the fact that you have come through this, been denied everything, your proms, all that, a graduation ceremony, while at the same time having to wear a mask and be careful and wondering about going to school and all this, yet you still have your wit about yourself and your strength about yourself. I mean, my goodness, that's I mean, those are that's beyond survival. That's leadership. That's tenacity. That's belief in yourself. That's confidence. That's awareness. And so all those skills you all have developed because of COVID-19 in some respects, and you're going to be applying them going forward. Look, generations like mine, we're in the sunset. You guys are. This is the dawn. This is the beginning for you guys, and I personally believe that you guys are. That this COVID-19 has strengthened you, has tested you, and has presented you as strong to be able to go forward and actually show the type of leadership the world needs right now. So I don't know if that's the exact question you were asking, but I think COVID-19 has caused you all to develop some pretty strong skills that you're going to be able to apply going forward, particularly as you go forward in success.
Mr. Griggs, before you answer that question, we're going to cue the video and play the video that Shekinah Sanders had. So, and you'll hear how she talked about the skills that she picked up so that you can also answer that question. There's a video that she wants you to see.
Very good.
It really didn't hit me that our senior activities would be canceled until they actually did. Like I just thought, oh, COVID will pass by the time when it's time for prom or graduation. But when we actually got the email saying, hey guys, we're no longer going to be able to have this for you, I was like, are you serious? I mean, this quarantine for me, it's just so much new hobbies. I love to paint now, I write, I'm into creating new clothes and everything. So it's just allowed me to learn more about myself and what I like to do in my spare time now.
Okay, Mr. Griggs.
Yeah, and really, I mean, this is something that the tough part about being cooped up and having to make adjustments related to COVID-19. But at the same time, I don't think that this would, a lot of the ideas that came out of how to respond to this really were because of the nimbleness of our students, of you. The use of technology. Most of us grown-ups, we shrivel up at the thought of having to navigate a lot of this computer technology during a time like this. While we do it professionally, we pretty much do it at our own leisure. We have assistants and so forth. But to have to deal with the technology on a daily basis, day in and day out, I think that you all need to be commended for that. And I'm certain that those are special skills that you're going to take with you in the future. And another thing, I'm not so certain that we don't know how long we're going to be with this thing. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of the very students that are on this broadcast today won't be someone who help us navigate our way out of it. Because you're very resilient, you're very smart, and the technology is there, and people are every day trying to figure out new ways of doing things. I was just watching, some commercials earlier today, and the commercials were pretty much targeting people at how to do these meetings and how to share with each other over technology. 3 months ago, we weren't thinking in that direction. We weren't thinking about how to make the most out of situations where we had to isolate ourselves. And now people are doing much better at it, and we're finding other ways of growing those opportunities. So, I would say that one of the skill sets that we probably have learned and probably gotten too used to doing is how to navigate and work with each other without being in the same space. And that'll go, that'll take us, so much further than what we had before. Before we were doing just regular social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, pretty much without having to say a word. But now we're actually getting as close as you can to touch someone else without being there with them, and being able to share ideas on a regular basis, not just once a week, but on a regular basis. And I think that's one of the skill sets that has enhanced the learning opportunities for our young people.
Mr. Griggs, are there some things that the 2020 grads can do to get our immune system healthy and to avoid getting a virus?
Absolutely, absolutely, and I would like to encourage all of our students and help your parents as well to make sure that you do all of the things, live a healthier lifestyle to help protect your immune system. You ask your doctor or your family physician about supplements you can take. Some people are recommending vitamin D supplements. Some people are making sure that they're making sure that you have a medical home, that you're getting regular checkups, walking, biking, running if you can. Make sure that you get enough physical activity, and all of these things go to help you strengthen your immune system. And what it's really doing is really making you healthy. You're trying to make sure you're in the best physical and wellness, well-being condition as you can, and that empowers your system to be at less risk for having to have severe symptoms if you were to get infected, or to be able to fight the disease off if you were coming in contact with someone. So I recommend, and I think my medical colleagues as well, make sure that you live to the best of your ability to live a healthy lifestyle. Eat healthy foods, with lots of fruits and vegetables, and make sure that you get out and have some serious physical activity during the week so that you can stay healthy. And that's what I've been trying to do. That's one of the things that came out of this whole isolation period, was that I had an opportunity, because I was doing more work at home and less traveling, was that I was able to get out on a regular basis more in the morning and get 3 miles in and make sure that I was very careful about what I'm eating. So I think that a lot of people over this time have done that as well.
Miss Ham, is it normal for seniors to feel depressed right now? What should they do if they feel depressed?
Yes, it's very normal right now. As I said earlier, there's a little bit of grief that goes in with the things that you guys have lost out on that you were looking forward to, and also the constant day-to-day changes of what we're doing. So I think that that's normal, and I think that you can talk to family and friends and professionals. There's lots of community agencies that are available. As well as when you do get to school, college, there's counseling services through college as well, because that's going to be another adjustment period. And the sense that we're not alone in all of this, because everybody is having trouble coping and having to navigate this new normal that we're in. So it is, again, very normal to be feeling that way and to reach out and talk to somebody, because you're probably not alone. That if you say, hey, I'm struggling with this, your friend or family member may say, oh my gosh, I'm struggling with that too. And if that's not enough, then yes, definitely seek out talking to a professional.
Dr. Pierce, do you recommend that students wait for a year before going to college, since we don't know if there will be a vaccine for COVID-19?
I don't necessarily suggest that students wait a year before going off to college, even with COVID-19. I'm fairly confident that the precautions that colleges and universities are putting in place right now, as I referred to earlier, are consistent with just about anything else is going on right now in terms of precautionary methods to make sure that people are safe on a college campus. It'll be different. So I wouldn't recommend sitting off a year, unless of course you want to use that year to better prepare yourself, financially, or to work or make money. I strongly adhere to the traditional path: finish high school and go on to college. And why wait? In terms of a vaccine, sitting and perhaps the doctors, the medical people on the panel could better able to answer this question. But I don't see a vaccine coming anytime soon. I saw in the news this morning there's some progress with a particular clinical trial because these drugs have to be tested. They can't just be put on the market. But I don't think we have an idea when a vaccine will be formulated for this, and therefore I don't think we should put our lives on hold during that. We just need to be cautious, like you're doing. So again, I don't think you need to take a year off before going on to college. I just need to be safe and adhere to the guidelines.
Mr. Griggs, during the pandemic, was the 100 Black Men organization still able to give scholarships or assistance to the class of 2020?
Absolutely. The 100 Black Men of Jacksonville and the 100 Black Men of America, both organizations have been going through a scholarship process. The 100 Black Men of America has actually awarded scholarships and named scholarship recipients. One of them happens to be one of your Alma Star members, Ms. Nala Pryor. We're proud of that because she's been a wonderful student, and we're looking forward to her attending Xavier University. And the 100 Black Men of Jacksonville is now in the process of reviewing its scholarship applications, and those awards will be made in August. So we're very proud of the scholarship opportunities. We're very proud of the students who are receiving those scholarships, and we look forward to many applicants for the next scholarship season next year.
Councilman Newby and Ms. Ham, how are the two of you coping with the COVID-19 pandemic?
Sam, you want to go first?
Sure, I can go first. How am I coping with it? As I mentioned, I did these cathartic emails each week for work, and I didn't realize, they were a task that was assigned to me as an employee and as part of leadership, but I found them very helpful for me to process out how I was feeling each day. Journaling has always been something that's recommended throughout, for adults or, young adults to kind of get down their feelings. And it's not anything that I've ever really engaged in, but I use these emails to send out to all the staff as my journaling each week to talk about how I was processing it. And I use that to kind of summarize my journey about it. Like some days, one of them that I focused on was that one day I can be feeling wonderful and everything is good and I think I've got everything I'm supposed to do. I wear my mask, I sanitize, I do all these kinds of things. And the next day I'm just upset because chaos is still ensuing and the news is too overwhelming and it's too much. So that's kind of how I got through it. And I've been lucky enough to keep in touch with all of my friends and family and everything, and just kind of be very open and talk to them about how I'm feeling. And like I said, acknowledging that, hey, today's a good day and I'm okay with trips that might have been canceled or plans that were canceled. And then other times I'm like, this is disappointing and you kind of work through that. I dove right into work. That's another thing that I did. I didn't mind that they gave us the opportunity as a gift to work a little bit of reduced hours. And I didn't really embrace that the way I could have. I just kept working and working because that's what was helpful for me to keep doing and keep busy.
Let's take advantage of this wealth of knowledge on the panel by asking each of our special guests to share an inspirational. Let's take advantage of the wealth of knowledge on this panel by asking each of our special guests to share an inspirational, motivational, or empowering thought with the class of 2020. Can you please go in this order? Ms. Ham, Councilman Newby, Mr. Griggs, and Dr. Pierce.
I know I'm repeating myself, but being resilient. I mean, like I said, I did that as one of my emails, and I kind of kept coming back to the theme about it. And then again, reading about this organization, it just means everything for right now. Is this time doesn't have, you are growing from this time, and how you get through it and survive it is going to make you stronger on the other side. So again, it's 2020 strong and being resilient. That's a very long motivational quote, but like that's what I would focus on, is being resilient.
Or am I next? Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I would say, as an inspirational thought, is that resiliency is a big part of it, but please know that this is one of those times in life that you can draw from in the past, from your past experience. I oftentimes draw from experiences that I had in high school. I was an athlete in high school, and I wasn't the best athlete at the time, but I was trying to be the best athlete. And I overcame many obstacles trying to get better, to the point where I reached many of my goals in doing so. But during that process, it was long and it was lonely. And while I had friends, none of them really understood what I was going through. And so I think that in the future that you will look back on this time and you will feel like, I've prepared myself for any situation by having to deal with adjusting to doing online classes, adjusting to not having a prom or graduation, adjusting to parents working from home and parents being laid off and parents being unemployed, and not knowing what the future holds, sick relatives, sick family members. You had to go through and endure all of that. And this will prepare you for, some of the many challenges that you will have, and you'll be able to come through that with flying colors, because you know that this is not all that it is. You have the ability to carve out for yourself whatever you want to do and whatever make out of it, whatever you will.
Is it my turn? Okay. Let me say this. I was dean of a college for 7 years, dean of a law school actually for 7 years. And during that time, it didn't take long for me to understand who the students who are that were going to be successful. You could always spot them. And they were the students who were involved, the students who participated, like you all. We had the opportunity to listen to you all chatter while we were getting ready for this call. We had to get on early, and just listening to you all, you just sound like the type of young people that I recall are the ones that are going places. They're going to be successful. So I would say this, participate, stay involved. Programs like I'm a Star are excellent proving grounds to get you all ready for what you are getting ready to face in life. I don't have to tell you to take your studies seriously. I think you know that. You got to do your homework. You got to prepare for the tests. You got to read. You have to read. You have to read. You have to study. I think you know that. But there was a piece of advice I could give you: stay involved. Participate in programs like this, because once you graduate from college, sure, you'll have your education, but by participating and being involved with others, particularly in leadership roles, or in organizational roles, you'll be more rounded. You'll have a better, more well-rounded understanding of life and how to manage life. This world is getting a little more complex. You've seen that. And by working with other people while going through the day-to-day, such as going to school, it just makes you a little more sharp, a little more articulate, a little more nuanced, be able to sight and see things better than the average person. So stay involved, people. Stay involved. Stay involved.
Councilman Newby.
Councilman Newby, you didn't get a chance to do your inspirational message. Councilman Newby.
It seems we've lost Councilman Newby. He dropped out of the, I think he lost internet. Connection issues, sorry.
Dr. Pierce, Miss Giggs, sorry, Dr. Pierce, Mr. Giggs, Miss Ham, thank you so much for taking your time from your busy schedule to talk to the phenomenal class of 2020.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
This is our honor. It's fun.
Absolutely.
Yes, you're more than welcome. Yes.
And I got to say this before I get off this phone, when Dr. Griggs was talking about in response to the question on how to prepare yourself or stay safe, he said, take your vitamin D. I ran over and grabbed myself a bottle of vitamin D. I had sitting over here. Oh, I better take my vitamin D.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Hey.
Now, the moment we've all been waiting for. To show the class of 2020 how much we care, the Diamond Star Foundation will award one senior a $1,500 scholarship.
Okay, senior class of 2020. Senior class of 2020. Before I pull a name from this bag, I am going to tell you something from my good friends from ESS Services. They have an announcement. Is Steve Gritzik or Anthony Chesnosky or Andre Figler on? If you are, can you please unmute yourself so that they can spotlight, so that you can be spotlighted, so that you can make an announcement before we award this scholarship?
Sure, thanks, Ms. Bernie. I'm here representing the team. This is Anthony Chesnosky with ESS. So in conjunction with our sister company, Andre Figler of Enriched Schools, we're going to be donating an additional $1,500. So the total scholarship amount will be a $3,000 award to one very deserving senior of the class of 2020. Again, congratulations to you all. Your 5 keynote speakers, I mean, pretty much hit the nail on the head. You guys are going to be so far ahead of the game with the adversity you've already faced, and just, better preparing you for the next steps in life. So again, congratulations and best of luck in your next steps.
Is it okay if everybody unmutes themselves for a minute to just give them a hand for that? Woo! It's no longer a $1,500 scholarship. It is now a $3,000 scholarship. Yes. We have everything in the bag, all of the seniors that sent their information in. I'm not even going to look. I'm going to pull one name out, and that person, we're going to keep it in suspense for a moment. Councilman Newby, I was going to send the information to him, but since I have Mr. Griggs' information, Mr. Griggs, I'm going to text the name of the winner to you.
Okay.
And then you, since you have been with us for ever and a day, we'll share that information. Just one moment. I'm so excited. Thank you, ESS. Oh my God. Thank you. 1 second. I pulled the name. I'm sending it to Mr. Griggs right now.
All right.
Maya will go ahead and read what she has to say.
I'm ready when you are. So after she reads it.
Okay. Maya.
Go ahead, Maya.
Okay, can you guys hear me? Okay. Mr. Griggs, you will now announce the winner of the $3,000 scholarship.
All right. It is my pleasure to announce the winner of the $3,000 scholarship. And the winner is Jayla Lassane. Jayla Lassane, congratulations.
Will you please unmute your mic?
Yeah.
Jayla,
Yes.
Where are you,
Oh my
Jayla?
God.
Congratulations.
I'm right here.
Congratulations.
Thank. Oh my God.
Congratulations.
I'm really trying not to cry because I'm at work right now. Oh my God.
Oh, great. That's great.
Oh,
So, congratulations,
That's
Jayla.
awesome.
Where will you be
Thank
attending
you.
school?
I'll be going to Clark Atlanta University
All
in
right.
Atlanta,
Excellent.
Georgia.
Very good.
Excellent.
Excellent
Excellent.
choice. Excellent choice.
Yes. Oh, we're so happy
Yes.
for you.
Yes. Yes.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congrats. Jayla, my office is in Atlanta, Georgia. If you come see me at some point, okay? Once you get settled in the Clark, Atlanta, you come over to the Southern Education Foundation, okay? I'd like to have a conversation with you, okay?
Yes, sir.
Miss Bernie will make that happen.
I will make it happen.
Okay.
Okay. Wow. So I
We
guess
do, and we have a large 100 family there in Atlanta too as well. So 4 chapters. So she'll be well taken care of.
Jayla, look at all of these wraparound services, sweetheart. And it's all because you just sent your name in. That's awesome. So I get to speak for a moment. Jayla is really, I'm not a crier, but Jayla is really, yeah. She's at work. She gets a scholarship. She gets $3,000 when they thought it was only going to be $1,500. This is so phenomenal. 3 Nights of Love for a phenomenal group of young adults, better known as the class of 2020. A great deal of work went into making this a special event for you because of all that has been said. You've gone through so much. You've had a senior year like no one else in history, but you've persevered. I want to give much love to our volunteers and to our parents, to Carla Jones, who's our publicist, to Jay West, who's been doing some technical things for us. A tremendous appreciation to our panelists, the Honorable Councilman Sam Newby, who had connection problems and could not get back on, Ms. Gretchen Ham, Mr. Charles Griggs, who's been with Amistar forever and a day, Dr. Raymond Pierce, who's become a new friend. And unfortunately, President Becker from Georgia State University was not able to connect. A special thanks to my good friends from ESS Services, Buddy, Steve, Anthony, and Andre for just going ahead and putting in that money. I didn't even ask them. They just sent it, and I sent a text back saying, I fainted and I'm getting up off the floor, and yes. To Done and Dusted Inc. There simply are no words. I am forever indebted. Nothing happens by chance, so I truly count our connection as God inspired. To Melanie Fletcher, to Ashley Hoskin, and Aria Kubik, your assistance was priceless. And literally, I mean priceless, because we couldn't afford you for all the money in the world. And you came through, you helped us, and you helped us to create a professional atmosphere for the senior class of 2020 on a technical platform and on a national platform. Thank you. I want to give a special thanks to all the parents and volunteers, and to the women of Alpha Kappa Alpha, the Gamma Rho Omega chapter, who are doing Greeks for Grads for us. They're doing a card shower for some graduates in Jacksonville, Florida. And to my solution-oriented stars, my smart, my talented, and my resilient students, you are truly my heartbeats. For those of you who don't know, all of the students that spoke, they are rising 6th graders. So the youngest one who spoke, Miles just got out of 5th grade. And up to the oldest, we have one, Maya, who is going to be a senior. So these young people are very poised. They are stars. They're smart, they're talented and resilient, and they step up and do whatever it is that they're asked to do. I'm so very proud of them. And finally, to the class of 2020, you have proven that you are conquerors. So now all that you have to do is just unleash that inner greatness that you have so that you can soar. I wish you God's blessings. I wish you peace. And here's a song from the Amistar Foundation to you. And after the song, we will all be ready to just go off and have a wonderful time. But this song, Class of 2020, is for you from the Amistar Foundation.
ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby. 'Cause if you need me, call me, no matter where you are, no matter how far. Don't worry, baby, just call my name, I'll be there in a hurry. Don't have to worry, 'cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. Remember the day I set you free, I told you you can always count on me, darling. And from that day on, I made it proud, I'll be there when you want me, always somehow. 'Cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. Oh, darling. No, no reason you can't stop me, baby. Oh, no, baby. 'Cause you're my every trouble, I'm gonna do just say your love is alive, deep down in my heart. You know we are miles apart. If you ever need a helping hand, I'll be there on the tunnel as fast as I can. 'Cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. That was excellent.
Bye. Have a good day.
Thanks, Miss Bernie.
Good night.